What if I told you that finding yourself truly requires you to disappear? This isn't about running away or vanishing into thin air. It's about stepping away from the noise and distractions that dominate your time, stepping back from the expectations that have taken over. What I'm referring to is a conscious and quiet choice to focus on yourself in a way that may feel almost unfamiliar in today's world. A few years ago, I felt lost. Maybe you felt it too. Every morning, I woke up feeling like I was running in place, constantly moving but never advancing. Between work, social media, and the endless race to keep up, I felt disconnected from myself, drowning in expectations that weren't even my own. One evening, while scrolling through my phone without thinking, I caught myself comparing my life to people I didn't even know. Their success, their happiness, made me feel smaller somehow. That's when the question hit me: whose life am I living? I realized I had been living for others, chasing approval, seeking validation, and shaping myself into what I thought I should be. It wasn't just exhausting, it was suffocating. So I made a decision. I didn't announce it or seek approval. I simply started pulling back, bit by bit. I logged off social media for a week. I began journaling every morning instead of checking notifications. I set aside time to reflect on who I was and what I wanted, not for anyone else, but for me. At first, it felt strange. The silence was almost unsettling. But over time, I started to hear something I hadn't heard in years: my own voice. That choice to disappear in the quietest, most intentional way changed my life. It wasn't about abandoning responsibilities or running away from the world. It was about creating space to rediscover myself. And that's what I want to share with you today. This isn't just my story. It's a challenge for you. If you felt lost, overwhelmed, or stuck in your life, disappearing may be the key to transformation. By the end of this journey, you'll see that disappearing isn't about hiding. It's about stepping back so you can move forward with purpose. It's about tuning out the noise to hear what truly matters. So, are you ready to take the first step? Before we begin, please subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss more videos like this. Let's get started. Why does life feel stuck? Why does it seem like no matter what you do, you're not making progress? Today, it's easy to feel stuck. Every day is a constant struggle with responsibilities, expectations, and distractions. You wake up already behind, trying to catch up on messages, emails, and deadlines. And then there's the never-ending scroll, the perfectly curated lives on social media that make you question your own. But here's the truth. You're not stuck because you're not trying hard enough. You're stuck because your energy is pulled in too many directions. Think about it. How often do you start your day already reacting to the world around you? You open your phone and are instantly bombarded with everyone else's priorities, notifications, emails, the latest drama on social media, all taking up your mental space before you've had time to think about your own needs. It's not your fault. We live in a world built to keep us distracted. Social media is designed to keep you scrolling, with likes, comments, and shares triggering dopamine hits that make you feel good in the moment, but leave you feeling empty in the long run. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. But how do you harness that power when your mind is constantly overwhelmed with noise? The problem isn't just the distractions, it's what they're stealing from you. Every time you compare your life to someone else's, you lose a little bit of your vision. Every time you say yes to something you don't care about, you say no to something that could be meaningful. Life feels stuck when you're not living intentionally. Instead of being the creator of your story, you've become a passive participant. The result? You feel overwhelmed, overworked, and disconnected from what truly matters. It's not just about distractions, it's also about expectations. Society sets invisible rules for us. By this age, you should have this job. By that age, this house or relationship. When you fall short of those arbitrary benchmarks, it's easy to feel like you've failed. But what if the problem isn't that you're failing? What if it's that you're chasing the wrong goals? Let's think of your mind as a garden. When left unattended, weeds of self-doubt, distraction, and societal pressure take over. They suffocate the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. The more you let them grow, the harder it is to see what's beneath. But here's the good news. You can take control. The first step is recognizing that the life you're living isn't entirely yours. It's a patchwork of expectations, comparisons, and inherited habits. You don't have to keep living this way. You don't have to stay stuck. But to change, you'll need to do something radical. Step away from the noise. Stop reacting to the world around you and start listening to the world within you. You may not be able to change the distractions or pressures overnight, but you can choose how much power to give them. It starts with one small decision to disappear. Not forever, but long enough to reset and rediscover what matters to you. Disappearing doesn't mean vanishing completely or abandoning your life. It means stepping back from the noise and distractions that keep you stuck. It's about creating space for clarity and transformation. The first step is understanding why disappearing matters. When you're constantly surrounded by distractions, social media, notifications, even the expectations of those around you, it's impossible to hear your inner voice. The one that knows what you truly want gets drowned out. Disappearing is about reclaiming your focus. But let's be clear, disappearing isn't about isolation or running away. It's about looking inward, finding the courage to confront yourself, and quietly stepping off the stage of public performance to live authentically. Pulling back can feel terrifying because we've been conditioned to believe that constant visibility equals value. The more visible you are, the more successful you are, right? But visibility isn't the same as growth. In fact, it often keeps us stuck. Take a moment to think. How much of your life is lived for others? How often do you make choices based on what will impress or satisfy someone else? Disappearing is about breaking free from that cycle. It's about giving yourself permission to step back, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. When you disappear, something remarkable happens. You begin to see what truly matters. Without distractions, you can focus on your values, goals, and desires. By letting go of the need for external validation, you free yourself to live authentically. You'll also notice you have more energy for what matters without the constant drain of comparison and performance. Disappearing creates space for growth. Think of it like pruning a tree. By cutting back the unnecessary, you allow new, healthy growth to take root. Great minds throughout history understood this. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, practiced solitude to gain perspective. He often wrote about stepping back from the chaos to focus on what truly matters. If one of the most powerful men in history found value in disappearing, why shouldn't you? Now, if you're wondering where to start, I always advise taking small steps. You don't need to make dramatic changes overnight. Try disconnecting from social media for 2 days. Use the time to journal, reflect, or simply enjoy the silence. Let people know you're taking time for yourself, but you don't need to explain why. If possible, dedicate some time each day for solitude, whether it's 10 minutes in the morning or an hour in the evening. These small acts may feel insignificant, but they're powerful. Each one is a step toward reclaiming your life. Think about anyone who has undergone a major transformation. Often their story includes a period of retreat, a time when they stepped away from the spotlight to focus on themselves. J.K. Rowling, for example, spent years writing Harry Potter in solitude, away from external pressures. Her decision to focus on her craft, without the distractions, allowed her to create something extraordinary. Your transformation doesn't have to be as dramatic, but the principle is the same. Disappearing gives you space to rebuild, refocus, and return stronger. It's easy to stay visible, busy, and distracted, but true courage lies in stepping back, saying, I need this time for myself, no matter how it looks to others. Disappearing isn't a weakness, it's strength. It means you're willing to confront the discomfort of silence because you know that's where transformation begins. True transformation starts in silence. When you remove distractions and give yourself the gift of stillness, you create the conditions for deep reflection. It's in that quiet space that you uncover the truths about who you are, what you want, and what's holding you back. Reflection isn't just a passive exercise. It's an active journey inward, where you get honest with yourself. It clears the fog, helping you see where you are and how to move forward. In a world that doesn't encourage us to pause and reflect, Marcus Aurelius reminds us that nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. If you're ready to start, begin with small steps. Dedicate time for daily reflection, journaling, or meditation. Reflect on your life. What do you want? What are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What would your ideal day look like? By answering these questions, you start to build awareness, which is the first step toward change. Transformation isn't a one-time event. It's a process of consistent, small actions. Start today. Choose one habit, mindset, or boundary to work on. Every small step gets you closer to the life you deserve. Your journey from disappearing to transforming won't be easy, but with courage, patience, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths, you can build a life that feels aligned and authentically yours. So, what's one step you can take today to begin your transformation? Maybe it's taking a break from social media, starting a journal, or reflecting on your goals. Whatever it is, commit to it. I challenge you to disappear, not forever, but long enough to reset, refocus, and reconnect with yourself. If this message resonates with you, write "I'm ready" in the comments as a sign of your decision to step back and transform. The world doesn't need a louder version of you. It needs the truest version of you, the one that's aligned, focused, and unapologetically authentic. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more empowering content. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.